Alright folks, welcome back to me diving into week 2 of diving into phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we'll be talking about an origin story of the guy who's going to bring us all 3 Spider-Men. God, this is going to age very badly if No Way Home releases before these videos out. Who am I kidding? They probably will. But anyways, we're talking about the Doctor Strange movie. This is the 14th film in the MCU and was directed by Scott Derrickson, who also co-wrote with John Sparrow and Robert Cargill. The film was released on October 12, 2016, and its sequel, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, will be releasing on May 6, 2022. Anyways, this follows Dr. Stephen Strange as his life changes after a car accident, which makes him lose the use of his hands. Overall medicine fails, and he desperately looks for hope in an enclave. The enclave, however, is at the front line of a battle against unseen dark forces bent on destroying reality. This makes Strange decide whether he should keep his life of fame and fortune with high status, or leave it all behind to defend the world from the most powerful sorcerer. Honestly, he just went home. Kind of a cool 30-minute short film, not gonna lie. Obviously, I'm kidding. The film stars our lead, Benedict Cumberbatch, who has also appeared in the latest Avengers films, and as said will appear in No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. We have Chitwell Ejiofor, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, as Carl Mordu, who trains Strange and ultimately betrays him. However, we have not yet seen him, but who knows, we may see him again. Rachel McAdams plays Christine Palmer, our love interest to Strange, and well, she actually reappears in What If, where she dies over and over again. Benedict Wong, who well plays Wong, who is another master in the mystic arts and becomes a good partner slash friend to Strange and appears in pretty much anything our main hero appears in as well. Mads Mikkelsen plays Calcius, who as our main villain that is pretty much the same position as Mordor. And well, he only appears in this one film, and well, I'm just gonna say it, I probably pronounced both them names wrong as well. Then finally we have Tilda Swinton, who plays the Ancient One, who is Strange's mentor and has a brief cameo in Endgame. Like Ant-Man, a film based on Doctor Strange has always been a thought, beginning with New World Pictures creating a script with Bob Gale on January 21st, 1986. However, it never went into full production. Another script was written in 1989 by Alex Cox and the man himself, Stan Lee. The plot was our hero travelling to the fourth dimension before facing Dormammu. The film was actually almost made by Regency, but Warner Bros., who distributes their films, were not having any of it because they had a dispute with Marvel at the time. Then skipping to 1992, Scream director Wes Craven had signed on to write and direct a film with Savvy Pictures, and it was intended to release around 1994 or 1995, around them 2 years. However, by 1995, the film went into limbo and David S. Goyer was completing a script instead. But again, nothing happened, and by April 1997, Columbia Pictures then got the rights to create a film with Jeff Welch writing. Unsurprisingly, Columbia then dropped out of the project 2 years before they released their first Spider-Man. A year later, in June 2001, Dimension Films, who also released Scream, then acquired the rights with Goyer back on board to write, and this time also direct. Then again, another studio, Miramax, got the rights, and by May 2002, Goyer somehow dropped out. Although Miramax still put a 2005 release date on the film. But by 2005, Paramount then got the rights, as a part of Marvel Studios starting to produce their own films. In March 2009, Marvel then hired writers to help come up with creative ideas for the lesser known properties, and Doctor Strange was included here. By June 2010, they then hired Thomas Dean Donnelly and Joshua Oppenheimer to write a film based on the character, and even in a promotion for Transformers Dark of the Moon, Patrick Dempsey suggested he was in the talks to play the character. Then finally by January 2013, Kevin Feige confirmed the character would be appearing in Phase 3. He also restated a film was still in production. The Hollywood Reporter reported in February 2014 that many directors were in consideration to direct. However, Feige denied the report but did confirm that they did have some people in mind. Turns out Mark Andrews, Jonathan Levine and Scott Derrickson were the people they had in mind this whole time. Overall though, Derrickson was chosen to direct in June 2014. Overall, he put a lot of work into getting this job since he heard a lot more than people as usual were wanting to be director of this project, and he wanted to prove he wanted the job more than them. The man overall had 8 different meetings with the company. Even after he was hired for the project, Marvel bought a 12-page script he had done for them and even put it in the movie. Mentioned in the script, Marvel discussed with the director about having him write the film alongside C. Robert Cargill, but they knew if he was in both roles that he would not be able to release the film until July 2016. However, after he was hired, they then decided to get John Spatz, who would be rewriting their script. This guy is also a massive fan of Doctor Strange, and as soon as he heard they were making a film about him, he was just as passionate as Derrickson to be director. However, Marvel preferred Derrickson's ideas, but asked Spatz if he wanted to be a writer instead, and well, he agreed. Both these guys spent several months on the film's story with Feige and other executive producer Stephen Bossard. Overall, they were unsure if they could do an origin story or if they should just start with Strange being a sorcerer. But Spatz ultimately decided they should do an origin story because of how tragic it is in the comic books. Derrickson also wanted the villain Nightmare to be in this film and will have nightmares themselves being a dimension. However, Feige said this would be too much to introduce alongside the origin story, and they told him to put Dormammu as the main villain since he was the comic's most present villain. It seems in some way Patrick Dempsey must have been forgotten about, because well, the two and Marvel all envisioned Benedict Cumberbatch to play the main role, and by the end of June, Marvel were also looking into Tom Hardy and Jared Leto to be the film's leads. Wow, what a coincidence. However, it seems fans also wanted Cumberbatch to play the character because the actor addressed this all in 2014 San Diego Comic-Con, saying he couldn't take the role due to other projects, and Feige stated they would be announcing a lead as quickly as they can. This is also around the same time Joaquin Phoenix entered talks to play the role. However, he didn't want to take on the role by October 2014 because he felt there were too many requirements. AKA, he didn't want to be forced into other films because of this role. After that, Jared Leto, Ethan Hawke, Oscar Isaac, Ewan McGregor, Matthew McConaughey, Jake Gyllenhaal, Colin Farrell, and Keanu Reeves were on the shortlist for the character. Ryan Gosling was even into some discussions to play the role as well. However, it seems things changed for Cumberbatch because he entered negotiations to play the character and was officially cast in the December. Overall, it seems they were considering other actors, but Marvel and Derrickson always wanted him to play the role. But I always asked him if he had changed his mind, and well, the only reason they got him was because they put the film's production schedule around the actor's other projects. With this new production schedule, the film's release date was pushed back to November 2016, and Derrickson was also allowed to do some work on the script by himself. When he did this, he asked Cargill to come back and work with him on this since that was the original idea they planned. Then later on in the process, Spatz returned to overall write some more and make the final draft. By January 2015, Chitwell entered talks with Marvel for a role in the film, and it was later revealed in the 2015 D23 Expo he'll be playing Mordor. Then in April, Derrickson and some of his team visited New York to scout potential filming locations, while Feige revealed they would begin filming that November. Then by June 2015, Derrickson announced that he was travelling to London to begin working on the film, and Feige also confirmed the Santon Centurion would be appearing in the film. Rachel McAdams was then considered to be the female lead in July, while Swinton was confirmed for a role as the Ancient One. McAdams eventually confirmed her casting at the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. It has also been revealed over the years that Jessica Chastain had been approached for the role originally, however she denied it, saying if she was ever going to be an MCU character, she was going to be the main role. Funnily enough, in September 2015, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn stated that many of his crew from the first film were unable to return for its sequel. This was because they were already set for work on this film. Gunn, however, always supported this film and provided notes on the script. By the end of the month, Kevin Feige then stated that there would be more casting announcements made by the end of the year, and that November, Michael Stuhlbarg edited negotiations to play a character named Nicodemus West, and he then agreed to play the character after reading some comics, with even knowing Derrickson wanted to work with him. The visuals were also very important to the crew and Feige, who felt the film needed to be a mind trip. Derrickson also felt a responsibility to not repeat representation of magic from previous films like Fantasia and Harry Potter. For the portrayal of dimensions in the film, Feige stated that they would not be exploring other realities like the comics. It would in fact feature dimensions that are mind-bending. Filming began in Nepal on November 4th, 2015, and Ben Davis served as the film's cinematographer, after working on Guardians of the Galaxy and Age of Ultron. Most locations they planned to film in Nepal were destroyed in the April 2015 earthquakes. However, Derrickson and Cumberbatch still said that they would be filming there to bring some more attention to Nepal. Production then moved to Longcross Studios in Surrey, England on November 11th, and they were scheduled to stay there all the way until March 2016. Filming also took place in Hong Kong and even the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood in New York. Additional New York scenes were also filmed at Shepton Studios and London. Overall filming wrapped on April 3rd, 2016. Then skipping to June 2016, some Doctor Strange toys were released by Diamond Select Toys. Here they confirmed that Mickelson would be playing Cassius and McAdams would be playing Christine Palmer. To even further prove this, Cassius appeared in a tie-in comic book for the film, and McAdams confirmed her role at San Diego Comic-Con 2016. However, it seems a fair amount of actors unfortunately got cut from the film, with even Landecker explaining she was cast in a small role with 2 scenes. However, she only filmed one and got told since she had no lines in the second that there wasn't really any need for her to be in that scene. Even then, the one scene she did film had seemed to cut most of her role out. Although I don't think this is anything malicious, since Derrickson specifically wanted to have her appear in the film because he was a fan of her, and she is even still credited for a small appearance. Another role that was cut was Strange's sister, played by Lulu Wilson. This is confirmed by Derrickson, who said she appeared in a great self-contained scene, but they had to cut it since it didn't work with the rest of the film. It seemed they also needed to film some additional scenes, since Derrickson noted at San Diego Comic-Con that there was still a couple of shots to do for the film's overall logic. It has actually been revealed that more content was filmed for the training sequence here, because in test screenings the audience wanted more. Benedict Wong also said that reshoots were completed in August. Weirdly enough, one of the Rick and Morty creators, Dan Harmon, wrote these additional scenes, but Derrickson said he did this to improve the dialogue and it didn't really contribute to the overall story. Feige has even added on to this, saying that he added some humour for the film. Mentioning comedy, Thor Ragnarok director Waititi took advantage of the film's sets before they actually got demolished, and they filmed a scene between Thor and Strange for his film, which was all before that film went into production. Marvel and Derrickson overall agreed for this scene to happen because it was a perfect way of Strange joining the wider MCU, and they even added the scene into the film's mid-credit scene. Also, to save the poor man's time, Marvel decided to film a load of Stan Lee's MCU cameos around the same time, so he filmed this film's one on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, with both Gunn and Derrickson directing it. Overall though, this film was officially completed on October 10th, 2016. Music-wise, Michael Giacchio revealed that he would be scoring the film in May 2016. A soundtrack album was then released digitally on October 21st, 2016, and physically on November 18th, 2016 by Hollywood Records. Mention releases, the film had its premiere in Hong Kong on October 13th, 2016, and had its premiere in Hollywood on October 20th, 2016. The film then released mostly in Europe on October 25th, 2016. However, the film was not yet released in America until November 4th, 2016. Overall, the film made $232.6 million in the US and $445.2 million everywhere else, overall making it produce $677.8 million. This became the highest IMAX opening in November, overtaking Interstellar, and it also became the biggest origin story for the MCU at the time by October 27, 2016. So what did the critics think of the film? Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 89% from 385 reviews, and Metacritic gave it a 72 out of 100 based on 49 critics. The film also won 7 awards. But hey, it doesn't really matter what the critics think, here is my opinion. Overall, I would give this film a 3.5 out of 5. I'd say other than the visuals, the best thing about this film is its cast. Benedict Cumberbatch is so sharp in this role, as an angry but fed up Stephen Strange. I'll be honest, I'd say this is even more of a dramatic retelling of what happened to Tony Stark. Strange started as a cocky rich surgeon, ended up in a car crash which broke everything that made him important. He then carried on being selfish and finally started to learn a craft to make him even more important than what he already was. Even like Downey, Cumberbatch really makes you feel sorry for this character, and when he finally begins to grow again, you generally feel happy for him. Going back to the best thing about this film, the visuals generally make you think this fantasy is, well, genuinely real. And well, I do wish I saw this film in cinemas and even to an extent seen it in 3D at the time. So guys, that was pretty much the whole making of Doctor Strange explained and my own thoughts on the film. Do you guys like the film? Do you guys dislike the film? Let me know in the comments, because honestly I'd really like to hear your opinion. A 3.5 out of 5 isn't bad in the books for me. I just think this is an average film for the MCU, other than its, again, visuals and Benedict Cumberbatch's wonderful performance. So yeah, that's all I really have to say really. I've got to work in like a few hours from this recording right now, so kind of need to get ready for all that. Hopefully I can get the editing ready soon, and well, you'll see the video whenever the rest of the Phase 3 videos are done. So yeah, if you like the MCU videos I've been uploading on the channel for a little while now, please subscribe because it would make my day. Honestly, subscribers aren't everything to me, but it is a good little perk with editing, with practicing editing my videos, and also getting to talk about films such as this that I really like. And at times I do have to talk about films I really dislike. So yeah, that's all I really have to say really. Hope you guys have had a good time watching the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. So, peace.